The billionaire's penthouse floated above the city like a glass crown. Far below, traffic honked and buzzed, but up here, everything was quiet. Too quiet. In a dark control room behind the private lobby, Robert Hale stared at a wall of security screens. Each screen showed a different corner of his empire. Marble halls. Crystal chandeliers. Men in suits. Women in diamonds. And in the center screen, a single figure in a plain gray uniform. Sophia. She balanced a silver tray in her hands, shoulders stiff, eyes lowered as she waited for the elevator. The private one. The one only important people were supposed to use. Robert's jaw clenched. She still doesn't understand her place, he muttered. Behind him, machines hummed. Rows of buttons. Switches. Emergency overrides. Power controls for every elevator in the tower. He moved closer. On the camera, Sophia stepped into the elevator, the tray trembling just a little. You could almost feel how heavy her day had been. 12 hours on her feet. Endless orders. Whispered insults from guests who didn't bother to hide their disgust. Careless, slow, uneducated. Words she pretended not to hear. She pressed the button for the 62nd floor. The doors began to close. Robert's finger hovered above a small black switch on the panel in front of him. The one labeled, Manual Override. His lips curled into a cold, almost amused smile. You want to act like you're one of us, Sophia, he whispered to the empty room. Let's see how you like it when the elevator suddenly breaks. His finger flicked the switch. Inside the elevator, the lights flickered. Sophia glanced up, heart skipping. The soft music cut out with a hiccup of static. The floor shuddered. The elevator kept moving, then stopped with a hard, jarring jerk between floors. The tray rattled in her hands. A glass tipped over and crashed to the floor, shards sliding across the polished metal. Silence. No music. No movement. Just the sound of Sophia's own breathing, sharp and fast in the tight space. She pressed the button again. Nothing. Hello. Her voice shook. Is someone there? In the control room, Robert watched, leaning back in his chair. It was only a scare, he told himself. Just a little reminder of where she belonged. She'd cry, maybe scream, and tomorrow she'd be quieter. More obedient. Weak people always were, after fear. He didn't notice one tiny detail on the screen. The reflection in the elevator's mirrored wall. Another figure in the corner, half hidden by the tray. A boy in a dark hoodie, eyes wide, hands gripping the railing. His son. Michael. Sophia turned slowly, finally sensing she wasn't alone. The dim emergency light cast a pale halo around them. Who's there? She whispered. From the corner, a trembling voice answered. Sophia, it's me. Michael. And I think my father just did this to you. The scare isn't so simple, and the billionaire's own son is trapped too. Hours earlier, the tower had been alive. Music spilled from the ballroom. Laughter bounced off marble. Perfume, champagne, polished silver, and in the middle of it all, staff moving like shadows. Sophia was one of them. She moved quickly between tables, balancing plates that cost more than her weekly pay. Her shoes pinched. Her back ached. But her smile stayed glued in place. Don't look the guests in the eyes, Evelyn, the head housekeeper, had warned her. You're here to serve, not to exist. Still, when Sophia bent to clear a table, she couldn't help it. She glanced up. Across the room, a group of teenagers lounged near the balcony doors. Designer clothes. Diamond watches. Phones flashing. Robert Hale's guests. Children who would never scrub floors or count coins. One of the girls, Emma, watched Sophia struggle with a heavy tray. Look at her hands, Emma said loudly. They're so rough. Doesn't your father pay you enough to hire cleaner people? Her friends snickered. Sophia's cheeks burned. She kept her eyes down, gripping the tray so hard her knuckles turned white. Have you ever felt that sting? When someone looks at you like you're less than human, and you have to pretend you didn't hear. Careful with that tray, Emma added. Would be a shame if the poor girl had to pay for broken glasses. Before Sophia could move away, a calm voice cut through the noise. Emma, that's enough. Michael. He stood a little apart from the others, hands in his pockets. He didn't look like the rest of them. There was something quieter about him. Softer. He stepped closer to Sophia, ignoring the way his friends stared. I'm sorry about them, he murmured. They think money makes them funny. Sophia risked a tiny smile. It's okay, sir. You don't have to call me sir. Just Michael. Evelyn appeared, fingers digging into Sophia's arm as she pulled her back. Stop distracting the guests, Evelyn hissed. You're already on thin ice. Why? Sophia whispered when they were out of earshot. Evelyn's eyes narrowed. You think Mr. Hale doesn't notice you using the private elevator? Walking like you belong here? Rich people don't like it when the help forgets their place. And if you keep catching his son's attention, she leaned closer, he will make an example of you. Later that night, when a set of diamond earrings went missing from the dressing room, the whispers started. It's always the maids. She was near that room. People like her are never satisfied. Sophia's stomach twisted. She hadn't taken anything. But in this world, poverty was already a crime. And in his office upstairs, Robert Hale listened to the gossip with a cold, growing anger. So, he said softly, the maid wants to play clever and steal from me. His eyes slid to the camera feeds, settling on the private elevator. Maybe it's time she learned a lesson she won't forget. The lesson is coming, and it's going to happen inside that elevator. The party faded. Guests drifted home, leaving lipstick stains on crystal and crumbs on white linen. The tower fell into its expensive silence. For most people, the night was over. For Sophia, it was just beginning. She stacked plates in the kitchen, steam fogging the windows. Her feet throbbed. Every time she tried to grab a bite of leftover bread, someone called her name. Sophia, table 12. Sophia, the carpet. Sophia, hurry. Evelyn swept into the room, heels sharp against the tiles. You, she snapped. Mr. Hale wants coffee in his office. And don't use the service elevator. Use the private one. Sophia blinked. The private elevator? Evelyn's mouth twisted. You've been using it all day. Don't act surprised. Maybe tonight it'll finally take you where you belong. Sophia's skin prickled, but she nodded and prepared the tray. Upstairs, in his office, Robert Hale stood with John, the security supervisor. The monitors glowed, showing empty lounges and dim corridors. The earrings will turn up, sir, John said. We can keep checking the cameras. I don't care about the earrings, Robert replied. I care about disrespect. That girl walks like this place is hers. She uses my private elevator like she bought it. If I let one maid forget her place, the rest will follow. John glanced at the control panel. What do you want me to do? The private elevator, Robert said. I want it to stop. Just once. When she's inside. No danger, no headlines. Just darkness. Let her sit in that box and think about who she is. Sir, if anything goes wrong, nothing will go wrong. You're paid enough to make sure of that. John swallowed. Yes, sir. He adjusted a few settings on the panel. Just enough to pause the elevator between floors and cut the music. A controlled scare. At least, that's what he told himself. Outside the office, in the shadow of the hallway, someone stood frozen. Michael. He had gone to ask his father if he could leave the party early. Instead, he heard every word. Stop. When she's inside. Let her sit in that box. His chest tightened. Flickering lights. Screaming metal. His small hands pounding on elevator doors years ago. His mother's voice, trying to sound calm. He pressed his back against the wall, breathing hard. His father knew he hated elevators. How could he? Downstairs, Evelyn hung up the kitchen phone and looked straight at Sophia. Mr. Hale wants his coffee now. Take the private elevator. And don't spill a drop. Sophia balanced the tray in her hands and walked toward the gleaming doors. In the corridor, Michael stepped out of the shadows. Sophia, he called softly. She turned. Michael. He glanced toward the cameras, toward his father's office, toward the doors sliding open. If you're going up, he said, voice tight, I'm coming with you. Before she could protest, he stepped inside beside her. The doors closed with a soft, final click. The lesson is about to happen. But now the billionaire's son is inside the trap too. The elevator was still. Too still. Sophia pressed every button on the panel. Nothing. She hit the alarm. Once, twice, 3 times. Silence. Hello. Her voice cracked. Is someone there? The elevator stopped. It bounced off the metal walls and came back smaller. Behind her, Michael wiped his damp palms on his hoodie. It's okay, he said. It's probably just a reset. They'll start it again. Sophia turned. The red emergency light carved sharp shadows across her face. You shouldn't be in here, she whispered. You should have taken the stairs. If this thing. The rest of the sentence died. Her chest tightened. The air felt thin. Her hands shook so hard the tray rattled on the floor. Michael saw it. The way her eyes weren't seeing him anymore, but something far away. Sophia, he said softly. Hey, look at me. She dragged her gaze back to his. Put your hand here. He placed his palm on the cool metal rail. Feel it. It's solid. We're not falling. Breathe with me, okay? In. 2, 3. Out. 2, 3. For a moment, that was all there was. 2 people and their breath. In. Out. In. Out. A first time stuck in an elevator is scary, he said. I know. She let out a small, bitter laugh. This isn't my first time, she said. If it was, I wouldn't be this terrified. You're not weak, he said. Sophia stared at the control panel. Years ago, she said slowly, another elevator stopped like this. Different building. Same fear. Only that time, someone died. Michael's heartbeat stumbled. Where? He asked. A place called Hale Towers East, she replied. Your father's company built it. They called it Affordable Heaven. We just called it the only place we could afford. The name slammed into him. Hale Towers East. Sophia kept going, the words finally spilling out. The elevator was always breaking, she said. We complained. No one fixed it. One night, it stopped between floors. Me, a little boy from the 8th floor, and his mother. The lights went out. No answer to the alarm. The boy screamed. I tried to open the doors with my bare hands. Her fingers curled, remembering. The firefighters came. They forced the doors enough to pull him up. The elevator shifted right after they grabbed him. Her voice dropped. His mother didn't make it. Michael's throat burned. My father told me that accident was in some old building we didn't own, he murmured. He said the stories were exaggerated. That people just wanted money. Sophia gave a small, humorless smile. Then why did men in suits with his logo show up the next day? She asked. Why did they make my father sign papers and take hush money instead of real help? We lost our home. Our neighbors. The boy and his father disappeared into some rich neighborhood. Silence wrapped around them, thick and heavy. How old were you? Michael asked. 14, she said. I had this long braid. The boy wouldn't stop crying. I held his face and told him, You're going to be okay. I promise. You'll get out of here. The words hit him like a door slamming open. He heard them again, not in this elevator but in another, dark and shaking. A girl's hand on his cheek. A braid brushing his shoulder. Hands pushing him up toward a slice of light. He stared at Sophia, heart pounding. "Sophia," he whispered. "That boy was me." Her head snapped up. The elevator didn't move. But the truth had just shifted everything. Now Michael knows the maid he's trapped with once saved his life, and his father hid it. Sophia's lips parted. "You," she whispered. "You were that boy." Michael nodded. "My mother died that night," he said. "My father told me the building wasn't ours. He said people lied for money." He lifted his eyes to the tiny camera in the corner. "He lied to me. And he lied about you." Above them, a speaker crackled. "Private elevator. Status?" John's voice. "We've got an alert at 62. Michael stepped under the speaker. "This is Michael Hale," he said, voice clear. "The elevator didn't fail. My father ordered it to stop." Somewhere in the building, someone gasped. In the control room, John's eyes flew to Robert. Robert grabbed the mic. "Michael, what are you doing in there?" he snapped. "You're not supposed to." "You're right," Michael cut in. "I wasn't supposed to be here. Just like Sophia wasn't supposed to use your private elevator. This was meant to scare her. To teach the maid a lesson." "Restart the system," Robert said tightly. "Now." "No," Michael replied. "Not until you hear this. Do you remember Hale Towers East?" Silence. "That accident had nothing to do with us," Robert said at last. "I told you that." Sophia flinched. Michael didn't. "She lived there," he said. "She was 14. She helped pull me out of that broken elevator while your affordable housing cut corners. Your lawyers showed up with folders and hush money. You told me later people just wanted to blame us." His voice shook, but he kept going. "The only person who's been lying the whole time is you." On the other end, someone whispered, "Oh my God." Sophia stared at the floor. She had never expected anyone to speak for her like this. "Here's what's going to happen," Michael said. "You're going to restart this elevator. Then you're meeting us in the lobby. You'll apologize to her in front of your staff. And tomorrow, you'll call your lawyers again, not to bury the truth, but to fix what you broke." "And if I don't?" Robert asked, low. Michael looked straight into the camera. "Then the world hears about the billionaire who sabotages elevators to punish maids," he said, "and who looked away when a woman died in a building that carried his name." A long, thin silence. Then a soft click. The lights brightened. The floor shuddered and began to rise. Sophia gripped the rail, eyes closed. Michael let out a long breath, as if something heavy had finally slid off his chest. When the doors opened into the private lobby, a small crowd was waiting. Staff in uniforms, drivers, John, even Evelyn. And in the center, Robert Hale. He didn't look like the untouchable man from the magazines. Just a father whose lies had finally run out. His gaze went to Sophia. "I ordered the stop," he said, voice rough. "I wanted to scare you. It was wrong." Murmurs rippled through the staff. "And Hale Towers East?" Michael asked quietly, stepping beside her. Robert's shoulders sagged. "We cut corners," he said. "People paid the price. I told myself it was complicated. That we weren't the only ones to blame. But that doesn't change what you lost. Or what you did for my son." The lobby fell silent. "I can't change that night," Robert went on. "But I can stop hiding from it. We'll reopen the case. Pay what should have been paid. Fix every building with my name on it. And if you're willing, Sophia, I want you to help lead that work. Not as a maid. As someone I should have listened to years ago." Sophia held his gaze. "I don't want pity," she said softly. "I want accountability. Not just today, while you're ashamed. Every day. Michael looked from his father to her, a small, proud smile in his eyes. That night didn't erase the past. It didn't magically make the world fair. But for once, truth was louder than money. And the poorest person in the room wasn't the easiest to blame anymore. If you were in Michael's place, caught between protecting your powerful father and standing up for someone he hurt, what would you have done, and why?